It's been less than a week since President Biden signed the American Rescue Plan into law, and the details of what it means for Montana are still coming into focus. But one thing is clear. The Montana legislature has a huge new task before it to determine how and where to spend much of this flood of federal money in just a few short weeks. MTN Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison has the latest.
The first thing to note is the sheer size of the federal aid at our disposal.
Right now, we're up to what we estimate to be over 2.7 billion, but there are several funding streams that we still don't know. So I would expect it would be larger than that.
That amount alone is more than Montana's entire general fund budget for a single year. And that amount doesn't even include the federal aid going directly to some cities, Indian tribes, and individual Montanans, such as unemployment benefits. On Monday morning, 3 newly formed legislative budget panels began meeting to start drafting the lead bill that will direct how these monies are spent. It's almost like drawing up an entire new state budget, and they have only a few weeks to do it before the legislature wraps up in early May.
It's going to take some effort to get all this aligned, and it's going to take a few tries. We won't get it perfect the first time.
Much of the money must be spent on specific programs as outlined by federal law. COVID-19 vaccines, for example, or child care assistance, housing help, schools. But at least $900 million is part of something called state recovery funds, and those can be spent at the legislature's discretion. Budget Director Almy says Governor Gianforte hopes this money can be spent on items that benefit Montana's economy for the long term, like workforce training for those who've lost jobs due to COVID, or installing high-speed internet where it doesn't now exist in Montana. Senate Finance and Claims Committee Chair Ryan Osmundson believes lawmakers are pretty much on the same page in that regard.
We want to be forward-thinking in how we use it, and we want it to be a huge boon to the state of Montana for years to come. That's the idea, and it's going to take a lot of time to get it right.
The governor's budget director also says lawmakers may be flying blind a bit, deciding how to spend all this money without having yet seen the full federal guidelines. It's a huge job, and lawmakers have almost another $500 million from the federal COVID aid package passed in December that they must allocate as well. It's bound to be the dominant issue in these final weeks of the 2021 session. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
In the coming days and weeks, we will have more specific elements of how these funds may be spent and who benefits.